the corner.
On me.
Alright, Trap told you I saw him at the I guess at Homewood, Northwood on what's it called? Northwood Apartments on I guess Grimmett.
You saw? Oh yeah. He didn't tell me he saw you, but he stayed. Yeah.
Yeah, cause I see people out there, so I
Yes.
saw him. I was like, that's Trap.
For your job?
Yeah.
Yeah. He stayed out there.
I figured as much when I saw him out there. So. Ooh.
Baby girl, that's you though. Oh, nice. Suck my nuts.
I feel like my chakra point is like reaching a max right now. I feel like I'm opening the third gate or something, but
Why the third one?
this shit hidden.
He skipped straight to 3 though. Who said that shit was? What did he say?
Don't they always get the 3 though?
What did he say? Who said that shit was important to me though? No, Primary Lotus is the first gate. When he kicks you up and wraps you in his arm things and slams you?
Yeah, I mean, but I'm saying like after that whole introduction of the gates, don't they always just skip to 3?
No, because he has to do that first. Let's get one.
Oh, they can skip.
They can skip straight to 8 if they want.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they
So
usually
no,
like.
So he's used gate 1 and 2.
I mean, but like after that, like they usually just go straight to like 3 or 4, because they need the extra power.
because he used Primary Lotus on
Gara.
He used it 4 times. He used it on that Sound Ninja. He used it on Gara.
A puppet dude, Gara's friend.
Yeah, and he used it on one more person in Shippuden. I think he used it when he used the Drunken Fist against Kimimaro.
Hey, that shit was fun.
It was.
Dude, Kimimaro was the most strongest character in that entire thing.
You think so?
If he didn't have a sickness, boy, this
Oh,
dude,
yeah,
this dude had bone powers. His Kekkei Genkai was bone stuff.
Nah, he was fine. He was definitely fine.
That man. Then he had the curse. Oh,
I'm not gonna fake on him. He was fine.
that boys. Hey, he was respectful too. He had respect. That was his best thing.
Bro, I'm not trying to watch anime for niggas to respect each other.
But Lee was like, bro, I gotta take my medication. This nigga drank like a fifth of vodka.
Bro, he was going crazy.
By the way, that was Drunken Lee was the strongest character.
He's top 5.
In every fighting game that he's in. He's like literally just broken. He's like Yoda off of Soul Calibur.
Bro, he was fine. He is fine.
Yoda's literally like a third of the character
Darth Vader
size.
was the truth too, though.
Actually, though, but he wasn't Yoda.
He was so small, his hitbox was ridiculous.
Exactly. He's like Pikachu with a lightsaber.
Right. Literally.
Wait, are we live?
We're live, but we're not like live.
Oh, I got you. Okay. It's like I remember seeing the screen. That means they can hear us.
They can definitely hear everything we're saying.
I'm learning 2 new songs on the guitar, and I'm doing some improvisations also. So
Oh, yeah?
I'm getting kind of crazy. Because the stuff I learned with Tyler,
Uh-huh.
I guess in about the hour and a half, 2 hours I spent with him. The fundamentals I got out of that, I'm putting my own spin on stuff, and I'm figuring it all out, and
Well, good, bro.
I'm having way too much fun. Like,
That's what I like to hear, G.
it's crazy. So I might send some samples of my dumb stuff I be playing with.
Yeah. Ow. 40 for luck.
Just add that to the song. Go ahead and add that.
Bro, that'd be fire. Niggas hating.
Absolutely. That's the new tag.
Alright, let's get right into this. Kate! Screw the door being open, I don't care.
Bro, I can't see, bud.
You can't see.
Like, my eyes are just killing me, man.
That's because you're a bomb.
Absolutely.
We're gonna jump straight into this. We're already an hour late.
Oh,
Well, we're not late, actually.
I was like, wait, she was sucking you like that?
Like foul.
I don't know why it pauses out like that.
Thank you for tuning into the We Live Isaiah Pokestone. Isaiah.
Can you close the door? I don't know why it pauses up like this.
Oh, is YouTube public?
Horny.
The key.
Huh?
Is YouTube public?
It's bugging.
Yeah.
What was that?
It's bugging. I don't know why the intro does it.
Everyone say hello to Alan. He's in his bag. Give him my eagle.
I guess.
It has no reason to do
I'm
that.
listening, bro. The song's hitting,
I
man.
can't.
As well as
It's so weird. I don't know why it's doing that.
AKA
Oh, I hate my life.
Did you do the public YouTube thing
Don't
already?
get so close to it.
what was the other one?
I have it set so you don't have to get super close.
Oh, gotcha.
Anonymous T.
What
Jade
did-
was doing that, and it was super loud. Sound check.
Oh, that's me. That's crazy.
Yeah.
We live.
Don't get so close.
You're right. We live.
Thank you for coming to We Live, the Isaiah Polk Sound Check. I am Isaiah Polk with your B-Mike, Alan Edward Warren, today on this fine Thursday afternoon, both double cheeked up. As usual, we're live on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 10 p.m. Today is Thursday, September 17th, 2020, the year of legends. Let me also say, if you're watching and or listening on any of the podcast aggregators like Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, any of those great things, follow, rate, review, subscribe to the podcast, whatever would be the avenue to support the podcast on whatever source you're watching. Do that for us today. If you're one of our Patreons, I want to say we appreciate you. We're thankful for you. And to tell all of your friends to give us their money. We don't have a lot of people in here right now, but if you're watching live or if you hear this the next day or the few days after pre-recorded, send it to a friend that needs it because they're probably toxic just like us. Or me, I guess. I can't speak
can be
for
a
both.
little toxic.
Okay, just like us.
Yeah.
Alan, how you feeling, buddy?
I'm feeling warm.
It's that drink in your cup. Well, it's
And
no
the-
longer in your
and
cup.
the sweater.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Swaggy sweater, by the way.
Appreciate it. Oh. You have a swaggy jacket
Thank
yourself,
you.
sir. That windbreaker's pretty fire.
Trying to make it a point to be swaggy from now on, bro. I had a couple years of dry spell because I stopped caring, but I'm trying to be dope from now on. What is this? I miss you.
You gotta respect it.
But yeah, bro. So glad to hear you're doing well. I'm doing fine myself. Thank you for asking, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, no. Great day, chill day. Work wasn't that bad. Came home, took a nap, and went and watched a football game. And now I'm here. Isaiah. What does that say?
I can't see. Worst person to ask that question.
I'm cold. Isaiah, I'm cold. Polk. Yeah, I know. Yes, sir. You know the vibes. But today, guys, we're actually going to be getting into the topic of selfishness on the podcast. And when I say selfishness, we're going to be talking about what exactly selfishness is, what exactly it looks like to be or not to be selfish, and when it is a good and bad thing to be selfish. So, and if there is a good thing, if good time or bad time or an appropriate time to be selfish. So, Alan, is there anything you want to say to start us off?
I guess you want to start off with the definition of like socially selfishness or like hypothetical selfishness.
I don't know the difference.
Because I was thinking on the way over here, hypothetically selfishness, it's all about personal value, what you get out of being selfish, and just like making decisions in life. I would view selfishness the same way. As long as you're willing to accept the consequences of what your selfishness brings, whatever that may be, then I think it's justified. You could argue that it can be justified rather, and that's like the self version of it. Whereas socially, you have the would it be bad? Would people think bad of me if I just took all of Isaiah's things? Just because I wanted them, or because I felt like he didn't need them, so to speak, or if I just didn't.
So you're talking selfishness like materialistically.
Yes, I guess so. Yeah.
I feel like that. Yeah, like so more of like a greed kind of thing.
Yeah.
When I think selfishness, I don't know, and those things definitely are selfishness. When I think selfishness and like the track my mind was going down was more so like, let me silence my phone because it's gonna annoy me.
Same,
was more so like
hard to.
I was thinking along the lines of, you know, taking care of yourself but putting yourself first in every aspect, or not even taking care of yourself, but like when it comes to doing something for someone, doing something for you first, and in situations making sure you're good first. And maybe we're looking at maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves, because I may be looking at things as from the aspect of when it is appropriate, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like there are definitely scenarios where being selfish is necessary,
right?
Just because I'm a big advocate of the sentiment that, you know, you can't take care of anyone if you're not taken care of. So I think that in some situations it's okay to be a little selfish.
And that's what I was saying with the first, I guess, hypothetical of like, if you have your reasons and you are willing to accept that,
Yeah.
then I feel like you can live through that example in that regard. Because, you know, there's always, you can always argue a reason to do things, and selfishness isn't excluded from that. So
yeah. Now, I mean, I think in the same regard, I mean, you can argue that that's still a negative because, you know, there's a big emphasis on, especially in the times we live in now, you know, empathy is super stressed now. And I don't think there's never been a better time to stress empathy, because if ever man has needed empathy, I think it's now. For sure. And I mean, not that they didn't need it before, because they definitely needed it.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think sooner is definitely better rather than later.
absolutely.
And later, we'll fix it later, has been the crux that has put us into positions like we're in socially now. So I think that I can get why selfishness can be frowned down upon, but I still stand by the fact that I think there are times when being selfish is 100% called for. I'm
Absolutely.
sorry. I've been drinking.
The Ice JJ Fish cover?
Huh?
Is it the Ice JJ Fish cover?
I didn't. Oh, bro, that joint was crazy.
Actually.
Bro, it's so disgusting. But but no, when we talk about, oh my god, I'm gonna vomit.
Yeah.
But when we talk about
Selfishness.
yeah, but when we talk about selfishness from a negative standpoint, I think that the big thing to look at is the why. And that's kind of like what you were saying. Yeah. So I don't disagree at all. I think you need to know what the root of the selfishness, to even be able to distinguish whether or not it is that, because I think that's a relative thing. And just because something appears to be selfish to the person who perceives it as selfishness doesn't necessarily make it that.
I would think that you could. I wonder if it's even that, and that rather the thing you would question, not necessarily the existence of selfishness, but if it's justified or not, if it's good or worth doing, I think is a better.
Yeah. Well, the reason I say that way is because I think it's really hard for a man to tell a man, and I say man as a person, not a man, but I think it's really hard for a person to tell a person why or what their motive is for doing anything, especially from the outside looking in, unless you have that information from that person. So it's just really hard to say that something is inherently selfish, because unless you know all of their motivations for doing something,
Unless you're them.
yeah, how would you know whether it was from a selfish place or not? Now, of course, there are some things that are just based off of context, clues, and reason and logic. Obviously, it was selfish, but I'm just saying in a lot of cases, it's so easy to perceive something and assume that you understand something just because of how it looks.
Is that selfish?
Is it?
I'd like to think it is. You're not really considering the whole situation. You're just letting yourself do all the.
Ominous in the chat says, too much empathy, in my opinion, can be just as bad as being too selfish.
It's like too much oxygen could be too.
I don't agree, though.
I mean, I
Too
feel like
much empathy.
I feel like too much empathy is equivalent to people like kind of running over you at a certain point. You don't know when to stop.
I don't think that's empathy though. Because like when we talk about empathy, empathy is the capability to put yourself or not hypothetically, but to consciously imagine yourself in the emotional state or position of another person. And that's not the definition, but when I think of it, that's how I think about it. Being able to put yourself in someone else's shoes, basically. Not physically and not like actually, but to imagine and like understand the feelings that they're feeling without having to be in their position.
Right.
I don't think there can be too much of that. Now, I don't think empathy necessarily means that you're being a pushover.
I guess my question for you is then how do you simulate? How do you process that simulation of empathy?
I think you can be empathetic without being like, if say I'm trying to think of something we may not agree on. Say you get jumped. Empathetic. I can be empathetic to that and understand what you're going through. But that doesn't mean I have to put myself in any kind of negative or unsafe emotional or physical position just because I understand what you're going through or have been through.
I guess the way I perceive that statement, too much empathy, is like you find empathy in literally every and anything you see as much as you can, which I think is how I'm seeing it.
So you're saying like being hypersensitive to everything, like everything has to be some kind of over emotional.
Yeah, that's how I read that.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah. I can see that.
Because then you can't really like take time to process.
Yeah, because then it distorts like the reality of things. Because like realistically, some things are some ways, and there's not always. Yeah, no, that makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Okay, well, when I look at it that way, I agree because I think there are definitely people who take every situation and try to make it into something like. Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't think that's necessary. So if that's what he means, or Torin, if that's what you mean by too much empathy, I agree. I feel like there's a different way to word that, but if that's what we're getting at, then yeah, for sure. I think being too empathetic can be emotionally damaging.
Head of what you meant. Okay, nice.
Too much empathy can be emotionally damaging? Yeah, for sure. Because I don't think realistically we should
you just be sad all day.
relate to everything. Yeah, like you can't. Sad. And like you just said, you would look at
you wouldn't be able to process anything because you'd be
like people
so
who
upset.
step on ants and freak.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
Yeah. I mean, because then you would probably consider every little thing that you do and how that affects any and everyone around.
And it's just not realistically. It's not healthy.
Not healthy at all. Yeah.
It's not.
You might as well just stay in a room and suck no oxygen. I guess just.
Why not? Why? Because you heard the oxygen?
I mean, because you're sucking oxygen from someone else.
I'll suck your oxygen.
No, you will not.
You can't stop me. This does not become a clip. This does not become a clip. Under any circumstance, this does not become a clip. Listen to me. If this becomes a clip.
Not my O2. Well, you can have my O2.
I cried over the possum last night.
Yeah,
you think it's over empathetic to cry over a possum you killed driving?
Depends on how long you do it.
Huh?
It depends on how long you do it.
How long you kill the possum?
How long you cry?
Oh. like if you run it over, you stomp it out.
You just slow. You see it. No. Depends on how long you let it eat you up. You know.
Yeah.
It's like about a minute.
What if you really love possums though? What if you're that
if
possum?
You're like a possum sanctuary owner. That's her, man.
Yeah. I think
make a mural about it.
It's just hard for me to say that there's a such thing as too much empathy. But I can look, like I said, looking at it from that standpoint, I can see it. And this is coming from a very non-empathetic person. I don't care about people's feelings very often at all.
And that's what I was asking you. Like, how would you what do you? I guess if you were to simulate that, what would you mean?
Like,
which is like what I was saying. Like, having every moment is like you're trying to find empathy in that moment. You know what I'm saying? I guess too much empathy in your regard. How would that look in reality?
What would look like too much empathy? Like, how much empathy is too much empathy
for you? Yeah.
I feel like
okay. I guess.
I feel like when it comes to a point where you're starting to feel things for things that don't feel things themselves. So if and I'm trying to find out the best way, because that's wordy, and I'm trying to figure out the way that not inanimate. I'm not saying inanimate objects.
I was definitely thinking about rocks.
No, not rocks.
Actually.
But like, if you empathize for me for something that I had no
feelings toward,
there's a problem, because then it seems like it's more about you than who you're empathizing for.
Absolutely.
And that's where I think it becomes unhealthy.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So that's too much empathy for you.
In my opinion. That's where I could see it as being extremely negative. And I know people who do that. Like, and maybe to me that's something I witness because I'm a super emotionally withdrawn person. So because people don't really witness my emotions, some people feel like they need to feel for me. And it's like, you can't feel for me.
Right.
But like, I think when you're getting to the point where you are forcing emotions into situations where emotions aren't involved, then it gets kind of iffy. What about you?
In regards to
the same question, like what is too much empathy for you?
I mean, as I stated earlier, just the moment where you can't really see the forest for the trees because you're too busy on the twig that fell off of the mother tree.
So when you lose sight of the grand scheme of things, based on a small detail.
Right.
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense.
There are things you got to accept, and you just got to keep rolling with the punches. So.
Yeah. No, that makes sense, bro. That makes sense. Do you think that a squirrel can have sex with a chipmunk and have a kid? Are the chromosome count even?
I mean, I don't even know if they're like in the same species.
Are they not?
If they are, they can.
Oh my god, that hurt.
Yeah. I mean, they're both rodents, right? So I mean, I feel like if a lion and a tiger. Oh,
no,
actually,
that's the thing.
That's the thing. Was that real? The lion
Yeah.
and tiger thing?
So there's a lion, a tiger, and a jaguar that bred together. Like it's a thing.
But all three of them,
Yeah,
one
animal.
baby.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I feel like they could.
I feel like that's a very dangerous animal.
It's like really quiet but loud at the same time.
And you know, donkeys and horses can go crazy.
There's a whole thing with that. There's a whole line of like lineage with mule, donkey, horse things.
I'm a mule, donkey, horse.
And one of them, I think
show you.
I think mules can't breed. Mules can't have children. They're sterile.
Yeah, because they're
they're sterile because of genetics, but
because of the crossbreed, actually.
Yeah.
Just like a liger can't breed another liger.
Yeah.
You can make a liger, but you
that's
can't
it.
go.
It stops there.
Yeah. She said orgy kitten. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
That's an orgy kitten.
I was thinking about the rodents. I was very confused, but yeah.
That is a dope sweater.
I appreciate it. It's warm. I'm like starting to get a little moist in the sweater though. Like on my shoulder specifically.
We were talking about selfishness.
Yeah.
And we got on orgy kittens and back on the sweater.
Moist sweater.
Josh says, with the power of empathy, I can achieve all.
All sadness, yes.
Also, shout out to Ominous Owl, to Kate, and to Help Channel for hanging out with us. There's someone else hanging out, but I don't know who it is right now. But thank you guys for coming by and hanging out with us on the live this Thursday. Double cheeked up on this Thursday evening. My back hurts.
Actually.
Like, for real.
Is it like a specific side of your back or just like...
Right, like mid.
Mine's like mid left.
Oh, man.
Like right under my shoulder.
Maybe we should switch sides tonight.
You want to do it now?
I'm in the bed. Oh, man. Bro.
Would it be selfish of me to say no? I like my side. I don't want anyone else to have it.
I don't think so. Do you ever see? And that's another thing in relationships. Let me ask you. Okay, this could get iffy because I know of an ex you had that. Oh my God! Hold on, I need one of these.
That's my bag.
So in relationships, bro, let me ask. When we talk about selfishness, is it selfish to demand time? And how much time is selfish?
Okay, so that statement alone doesn't have a true answer. Give it a context for it.
But see, no,
time in what
like if in the sense, you know what I mean. Quit being, you know what I mean, and quit trying to run from the question, you pussy. Quit running for the question. I think, and I mean time, or I guess there's two ways you could look at it. When the way I mean it is, in a relationship, is it selfish to demand time from the other person? To demand time.
I would say generally yes.
I agree.
But if there's a context of that they're not giving you any time at all.
How much time is appropriate time, though? And I feel like that's such a relative question that, like, it's hard to really say.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, it would just depend on, like, your interaction, you know? Like, you, I guess, I don't know how you exist socially, so to speak, even in, like, interpersonal relationships. But I'm sure there's a certain amount of time you can spend with someone before you have to be by yourself.
Yeah, no, I get that. More so, I'm almost the inverse, where I spend a giant amount of time away from someone,
right?
And there's so much amount of time I can spend away from everyone before I have to spend time with someone.
Okay.
So I asked that because I'm the type of person who I will be to myself for 2 weeks, and then I'll ask you if you want to hang out, because I'm, and that's the thing that comes with the territory of talking to Isaiah.
Right.
But the reason I ask is, like, when does it get selfish for that person to not respect that, knowing that's how I am? And honestly, that's why I'm asking if it's selfish, because in my opinion, I don't think it's selfish, but, like, would it be selfish, like, to demand time? And I don't say no. I say no just because I feel like if it's something you emotionally need, as long as you can make that clear in a manner that is not
disrespectful
or abusive, it's fine. But I think that there also has to be a mature understanding that you may have to just end things because you two don't have the same desires when it comes to that thing.
Right.
But I think that there's a thing where there's kind of this idea that you have to spend this much time, or you have to spend a lot of your time together. And that's just not how I am. Me personally, I spend a humongous amount of my time alone. And then when it gets to a point where someone is kind of strong-arming their way into my space, it gets suffocating, and it gets overwhelming for me. And it gets to a point where I just don't want you around at all anymore. But that's just how I am, and that's why I was asking.
I don't think that's selfish, because again, like, it goes back to, like, there's that it's like a weird unspoken, like, situation of, like, you know, you have this small frame of time that you need, and you work through that just by interactions alone, and then the other person will do the same in their own span of time. Like me, I can hang out if I can hang out. I don't have to, but I guess I have a pretty neutral span of time. Let's say you have a low, span of time spent with others, so to speak. So I mean, as long as you don't cross over my my limit, you know what I'm saying? Like, as long as you don't cross over the limit of the other person, then I think it's fine. As long as that understanding is already met, and you're not cutting into their spare time out of that space that they've delegated, kind of without saying so, then I think it's okay. And I can't say it's selfish in that regard, because it's kind of like an emotional understanding or a social understanding in that regard. But when it's like, you clearly know that this is not the time to do so, you know what I'm saying? You're using more time than you
Can y'all
should.
hear Alan okay? I think you can, because I hear him fine in my headphones. So I imagine you do, but that joint not even pointing at him now.
Nah, I was actually facing away from it too.
Oh God, that's how I was.
But yeah,
they say yeah. Torrance said he hears you fine.
All right, nice.
I feel like we should make time between each other and being apart, and that should depend on the couple. No, for sure. Yeah. I think that's a given. I think that goes without saying. Like, that's almost impossible not to do, because naturally you're gonna make time together and be apart.
Hopefully.
I feel like there's no logical or like practical way to not do that, because either you're gonna be together at all times forever.
You become one being.
Yeah, like, no, that's not. That's literally impossible. But no, I get what you're saying, Josh, and yeah, I don't think either one of us are debating that. I think what more of what we're getting at is, like, when does it become? We were both trying to answer the issue of when does it become
selfish
selfish to demand time.
when someone becomes uncomfortable. I think is the answer.
Yeah, and I agree.
And
I think it becomes selfish to demand time without in my opinion, without understanding that the time is not your own. You cannot demand time from me that I'm not willing to give you, and without understanding that, like, when you're trying to manipulate me into giving you that time without understanding that you don't have to be given any time at all. That's and I hate to say it that way, but like, I feel like if it was me, I would talk to the other person and tell them, this is the thing I want. Can you give me this? And if the answer is no to the can you give me this, then you make a decision based off the answer they give you, whether you're okay with that or not. And if the answer is no, then you make another decision on what you're going to do about it. And you voice that to them, that this is what I'm going to do in response to the lack of time that you're willing to give me. And I mean, that's just how you respond. But I don't think there are cases when people want something and it's like, you're going to do this. That's when I think that it's selfish. When you disregard the fact that the thing you're asking for does not belong to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was thinking about that in regards of, like, so to speak, boxes. Like, you know, if Isaiah has like a box the size of, let's say, this cup.
But my box real big.
But I may have, like, I don't want to get up, but let's say I have like half the size of his size of box, right?
The last box ass boy.
I prefer smaller boxes. But and let's say I know Isaiah has that size of a box, and I can fill that box with my time, so to speak.
Girl, put the time in that box, girl.
That time is available for me, and we've come to this understanding over time, right?
Oh yeah, you better understand.
But my box is half the size. He knows this. But the moment you come in and try to put an equivalency of your box into my box,
equate them boxes,
then it doesn't work.
Make it work.
And then it becomes selfish.
All to yourself.
I'm gonna make that my tag on music.
DJ Allen, all to yourself. Hold on, I need a goddamn. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what time it is.
Actually.
Oh man.
But yeah, no, literally that. Yeah.
No, I agree. I can't disagree. Well, we're hitting close to that 30-minute mark. Before we close out, do we have any questions, any concerns, any thoughts, anything you want to say, Alan?
My back hurting, man.
My neck, my back. Still his sweater and his swag.
No, sir. The pants actually match the sweater. That
was
crazy today.
That was the first thing I noticed.
Not
actually,
intentional. That was not intentional, but I love it.
Can I get the good suck? Not the questions we were looking for. I'm not gonna lie to you. That is not the kind of question I expected to be asked.
Not tonight.
Today. Yeah, not today. Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is that it on questions? Way too loud. The question, I'm way too loud. That's crazy. All right. Well, if that's it on questions, guys, let me say that we appreciate you guys for coming through, hanging out with us on this Thursday night. I know Thursday night's gonna be a rough night for a little while. Can I have a box?
That boy sleep.
I'm hold you to tomorrow. I'm gonna hold you to tomorrow. What the heck?
Oh man, he said
that's
like,
crazy. Anyway, sound check.
We live. They don't let it do.
They don't let it do. Bro, they was wilding, bro.
Per usual.
My God.
Hopefully they stay like that forever.
No, yeah, it helps. It definitely helps.
It's crazy. We got a large follower that are all wild in the chat.
Yeah, that would be great.
I would cry. I would spend the entire video.
Well, we had a dope little chat Tuesday. No, I think I sent out text really late, but before that we had 7